beneath Pete's feet suddenly gave way. Pete struggled desperately to stay afloat in the icy water, but the weight of his pack and heavy clothing threatened to drag him under. Then he saw King and the two policemen hurrying across the ice. King leaped from the edge of the ice into the water. Pete grabbed the husky's furry neck and held on.
We're coming, King! Help! Help! Hold on to the dog!
Sergeant Preston and the constable advanced as far as they dared on the thin ice.
We're coming!
Help! Help!
The sergeant tied one end of the rope around his waist and handed the other end to his companion.
Hold this rope, Dick. Stay here where the ice is firm.
Right.
Now give me that pole.
Here.
Lying flat on his stomach, which distributed his weight over a larger area, Preston moved toward the open water, pushing the pole ahead of him.
Hang on to King!
The ice cracked menacingly as the sergeant went forward.
Can you reach the end of the pole?
Yeah, I got it.
Now try to pull yourself out of the water.
I savvy.
Pete managed to reach the ice. Then slowly he crawled cautiously to firmer footing where Sergeant Preston and the constable stood. Preston took off his parka and handed it to Pete.
Here, wrap yourself in my parka.
But what about you?
Don't worry about me. You'll freeze to death unless you keep moving. Take it back to the post, Dick. I'll get King out.
Right.
Here, boy.
A short time later, Pete Madden and King were both warm and dry in the comfortable police post. While the great dog lay contentedly at Preston's feet, Pete sipped steaming tea and expressed his gratitude to his rescuers.
Oh, with heavy furs and that pack strapped on my back, I'd have gone under for sure if it hadn't been for you and your dog, Sergeant Preston.
Glad we were near enough to help you.
Whatever's in your pack will need drying out.
Oh, I wasn't carrying much in the way of clothing, mostly supplies and the leather pouch full of gold. But I reckon getting wet won't hurt that any.
I'll see how much of your food can be salvaged.
Pete, I didn't think anyone but a greenhorn would be foolish enough to try crossing the lake this time of year.
I'm no greenhorn, Sergeant, but, well, I wasn't going to risk the crossing till Spike Marlin told me the ice was safe.
Who's Spike Marlin?
A trapper. His cabin's on the other side of the lake.
Oh?
You see it from our front window.
Years ago, Spike and I were partners. He's been trapping around here for a long time. So I figured he knew what he was talking about.
He was wrong.
Well, anyone can make a mistake.
That one nearly cost you your life.
Oh.
Hey, wait. What's that?
Leather pouch?
I know that, but what's making that racket? What's inside it?
You ought to know, Pete.
Gold dust doesn't rattle like that. Empty the pouch, will you, Constable?
Sure thing. There you are.
Why, what in the world?
What is this stuff?
Piece of metal you're holding's a broken hinge from a trap of some kind. This is a link from a chain, and this is...
Where's my gold?
The pouch is empty, Pete.
Well, then I've been robbed. And only one man could have stolen my gold. It was in the pouch yesterday morning. I had it with me when I got to Spike's place.
How much were you carrying?
$5,000 worth.
Spike may have figured you'd drown in the lake before you found out you'd been robbed.
I crossed the lake because he told me you had dogs and a sled you'd sell.
I couldn't sell police property.
He said you had a team and sled of your own besides the police dogs and
He
sled.
lied.
Why, that dirty lying buzzard. To think he'd turn on me, steal my gold, connive to kill me. Why didn't he just shoot me and be done with it?
With a police post across the lake? He wanted you to die a supposedly accidental death. That way, he thought he could escape punishment for robbery and murder.
Well, he's robbed the wrong man.
Hey, where are you going?
I'm going after Spike.
Take it easy, Pete. We'll both go after him.
Constable Raymond was able to outfit Pete Madden with dry clothing. Then the sergeant and the irate prospector traveled the 15-mile half circle around the edge of Lake Okeechobee to Spike Marlin's cabin. But the cabin was empty.
He's gone. Cleared out.
You're right, Pete.
Maybe the skunk thinks I'm dead.
He may know you're alive.
Huh?
From this window here, he has a clear view of the lake. He might have seen the rescue.
Then he knows we'll be after him.
Yes.
Where do you think he went, Sergeant Preston?
King will be able to tell us that, Pete. He'll find Spike.
I want to be with you when you catch up with him.
All right, but we've no time to waste.
King got Spike's scent from articles that had been left in the cabin. Once outside, the dog picked up the scent in the snow and began to follow it. The trail led north.
On, King! On, you husky!
Because he knew the police would be looking for him, Spike Marlin traveled light. His dogs were powerful and as fast as Preston's. The big trapper himself was a match for the Mounties.
Hush! Hush, you husky!
Hardened by outdoor living, he was strong and had endurance enough to withstand the rigors of a long and difficult trip. As Sergeant Preston studied his tracks in the snow, he knew it would not be easy to overtake the thief. It was a trying manhunt. Sergeant Preston allowed a minimum of rest for himself, Pete Madden, and the team of Huskies. Only an iron-willed determination to see Spike punished and to recover his gold enabled Pete to maintain the man-killing pace without complaint. In 4 days, they gained slightly on the man they sought. Preston and his companion were only a few miles from the town of Reindeer Ridge when one of the dogs went lame.
Okay, hurry, husky, come on.
Will she be able to travel, Sergeant Preston?
No, Pete. I'll have to take her out of harness.
That's a piece of bad luck we could have done without.
Easy, Frida. Easy, Pete.
Hey, look at King. He's fussing over that dog like a squaw with an ailing papoose.
King, you'll have to help pull the sled, boy.
Maybe we can get a dog in Reindeer Ridge.
That wouldn't help, Pete. Team's used to working as a unit. Strange dog in the line might slow them down. There you are, Frida. You're riding the sled in style. Up here, lady. Lie down now. Be or so off that foot and you'll be all right.
You know, Sergeant Preston, I don't savvy why Spike's heading north.
What do you mean?
It looks to me as if he's heading for the Nahoney Mountain.
What about it?
Well, that's where my partner Concho and I have a claim.
If Concho's there alone, Spike may plan to rob him.
I hadn't thought of that.
He may head west from the Nahonis to the Alaskan border. Once across the boundary line, he thinks he'll be safe.
I hope we overtake him before he reaches the claim. I don't want Concho to have any trouble with him.
We'll do our best. Into the line, King. That's it, fella. All set? And let's go. On, King! On, you husky!
Spike's trail led into the town of Reindeer Ridge, but the sergeant learned that he stopped only long enough to buy supplies before shoving on.
We'll keep after him.
He must be doggone near dead on his feet by this time.
Now, what about you, Pete? It's been a hard trip.
I haven't complained, have I?
No, you've done well, but I know you're tired.
I'm staying with you till we get Spike.
All right. On, King! On, you husky!
Outside the town of Reindeer Ridge, Spike's tracks disappeared from the hard-packed, wind-swept trail. But King wasn't following visible tracks. Without hesitation, the mighty dog led the team on toward the Nahoney Mountain region. As they entered a forest of giant spruce and fir trees, an early moon appeared in the darkening sky.
We're not far from my claim now, Sergeant, and Spike is still ahead of us.
We'll have to be careful here, Pete.
Well, what do you mean?
We've passed half a dozen places so far where we might have been ambushed. Okay, ho, you husky, ho!
As Sergeant Preston spoke, Spike Marlin fired from a hiding place ahead. In the uncertain light, he missed his target. Instead of hitting Preston, it clipped the fur of his parka.
Take cover, Pete.
Right.
Man-sized rocks on the side of the trail provided quick shelter for the sergeant and Pete. As Spike fired again, the sergeant saw the flash of his gun and triggered his own weapon.
Did you get him?
No, Pete.
I'll fill this skunk full of lead. Doggone it, I missed him.
Huh? He's as well protected as we
Bad
are.
rat the luck. Why, that dirty skunk.
Take it easy.
That shot hit the rock less than an inch from my head.
Keep your head
But
down.
we've got to get him, Sergeant
I
Preston.
intend to get him.
But how?
You stay here. Fire a shot occasionally to keep him occupied while I go around through the trees and try to close in on him from the side.
I savvy. You'll get to a place where you can draw a bead on him, then let him have it, eh?
There'll be no more gunplay unless he wants it, Pete.
He's proven he wants it.
I'll see you later.
Be careful.
Don't worry. I'll keep the cover as much as possible.
As Sergeant Preston made his way toward the outlaw, who waited eagerly for his pursuers to show themselves, Pete Madden's partner, Concho, was putting on his parka in their cabin less than half a mile away. The elderly prospector had heard the gunplay and was on his way to investigate. He approached Spike's hiding place just as the sergeant reached a point from where he could see the gunman's moonlit figure. Spike heard Concho coming.
What's going on? What's the gunplay?
Fearing capture, Spike turned to fire at the newcomer, but Sergeant Preston's gun roared. The bullet struck Spike Marlin's gun hand.
Who fired that shot?
I did. Keep your hands up unless you want more gunplay.
Hey, what's going on? Who are you fellas?
Sergeant Preston, Northwest Mounted Police. This man is Spike Marlin.
Marvin. He's an old friend of my father's.
You're under arrest in the name of the Crown, Spike.
Yeah, all right. I know when I'm licked.
Did you get him, Sergeant? I heard the critter howling.
He's through fighting, Pete.
Pete, what are you doing here?
Spike robbed me, Concho. Stole the $5,000 I had in my pack. Sergeant Preston and I trailed the dirty crook. Sergeant, this is my partner, Concho.
Howdy, Sergeant.
Hello, Concho.
Where's my gold, Spike?
It's on my sled.
Fine friend you turned out to be. Tried to murder me, too, didn't you?
And I almost got away with it.
I'll bandage your wound, then we're going to Dawson.
Dawson?
That's right, Pete. Spike's heading for jail.
I'm going to Dawson to pick up some machinery.
Oh, fine. You'll be able to travel with us.
Say, that'll be great.
Oh, I sure hope you don't run into any more trouble, Pete.
Oh, my troubles are over now that I'm traveling with Sergeant Preston.
Thanks for your confidence, Pete.
Why, that sounds like
It
King.
is. Come on, Spike. My medical supplies are on the sled, and remember you're covered, so don't try a fast move.
Don't worry.
We're coming, King Boy. This case is closed.
We'll return in just a moment with a word about our next exciting adventure. Check and double check.
You mothers especially, check and see if the whole family doesn't prefer delicious Quaker puffed rice and Quaker puffed wheat for breakfast.
Check and see how much everybody, Dad included, likes the sunny, natural flavor of the good, wholesome grain.
The sunny, natural flavor that old Mother Nature herself puts into it.
These premium grains are never factory sweetened.
And no sugar is added.
That's mighty important to you mothers and dads, because you may not like your cereal so sweet.
Yet the youngsters may like it very, very sweet.
And here's the beauty of Quaker puffed rice and Quaker puffed wheat.
The whole family can sweeten them with sugar or not, just the way they please.
So for a breakfast treat the whole family enjoys, get delicious, crisp Quaker puffed rice and Quaker puffed wheat.
You can't miss them on your grocer's shelf because they come in the red and blue packages with a picture of the big gun on the front.
Sergeant Preston and a constable traveling to the far north on patrol rescued a man weak from hunger. Later, after they had questioned him, the constable spoke to Preston.
Sergeant, he tells a strange story. Do you believe what he says about mutiny on the whaling ship and all that?
Yes. The sooner we reach Mackenzie Bay, the better it will be. We hope to be of help.
Preston, with the constable and his great dog King, met dangerous and exciting adventures in their hurried trip to the far north territory. Be sure to hear this next exciting adventure. These radio dramas, a feature of Sergeant Preston of the Yukon Incorporated, are created by George W. Trendle, produced by Trendle Campbell Muir Incorporated, directed by Fred Flowerday, and edited by Fran Stryker. The part of Sergeant Preston is played by Paul Sutton. Sergeant Preston of the Yukon is brought to you every Tuesday and Thursday at this same time by Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, the breakfast cereals shot from guns. This is J. Michael wishing you goodbye, good luck, and good health from Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice. So long. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.